I don't want kids. I never wanted to have kids. I am child-free by choice. The older I get, the more sure I am of this decision. Every time I express this, people start going against me. They think I hate children. Not true. They think I'm judging people who have children. Also not true. They think I still have time. Time for what? They think I will change my mind. How rude and disrespectful of my opinions. They think I have psychological issues. I mean, who doesn't, but I don't think that's the reason. They think something happened to me. They think I will adopt 15 cats. I mean, I love cats, but I'm allergic to them. They think I cannot find a partner.
More and more people are choosing not to have kids. And obviously there's so many reasons to not have children. But I think a major reason people are choosing not to have kids, specifically in the United States, is because of how unfriendly we are to children and to parents, right? We want people to have babies. And then when they do, we're like, don't bring them on a plane. We want people to have kids. But when they do, we complain that they're loud at a restaurant, whatever it might be, right? And today somebody sent me a video, and it was this woman who works at a pediatric dental office. And she was complaining about parents of young kids, like 4 and under, who bring their kids in for afternoon appointments.
Good day, everyone. Today we're diving into a topic that has sparked lots of conversations. Why are more Americans choosing to be child free? From economic pressures to lifestyle choices and even concerns about the future, there are many reasons why people are opting out of parenthood. And trust me, the numbers tell an interesting story. So if you have ever wondered why this trend is growing, or you are curious about what it means for society, stick around and let's get into it. Firstly, let's talk about the rise of the child-free movement. First things first, the numbers don't lie. Studies show that the US birth rate has been steadily declining for years. According to the CDC, the US birth rate dropped by nearly 23% between 2007 and 2022. And get this, almost 1 in 4 adults say they don't want kids. So what gives? One major factor, choice. Unlike previous generations, where having kids were often seen as a given, more Americans are deciding that parenting isn't just for them, and they are not afraid to say it. Let's take a look at this video.
So yeah, I'm 53, completely single by choice, and also no children by choice. Love my life, have incredible friends, and travel is the secret to my happiness. I do not wait around for some man to show up to travel with me or to explore places with me. I do it on my own and have so much fun, and usually take friends with me, meet friends wherever I go. It's the secret to my personal happiness. So if you're out there whining and complaining that you can't find a guy and your life is not worth living, then you better knock it off and rethink the way you're living your life, because you got one shot, babies. So have fun and enjoy it while you can, single or not.
Being a 39-year-old child-free by choice woman and seeing the child debate online right now is so interesting. I have never wanted children, and my entire life I have heard, oh, you'll change your mind, just wait one day. Oh, you won't have that little body anymore after you have kids. Like, who are you convincing? I've never changed my mind. I wake up every day grateful that I chose not to have them. They aren't for me, and that shouldn't bother anyone. If you have kids and you love your kids, great. You're supposed to. But wanting women who do not want to be mothers to have children is insane to me. I'm sorry, but it is. I was the child of someone who didn't want to be a mother. And I will never do that to children. I will never bring children into a world where I don't want to be their mother. I will never repeat that cycle. And that's okay that I'm not having kids. That should be okay. It shouldn't bother anybody. What bothers me are the people who have children and say, the biggest argument that we get is child-free women. People say, oh, well, who's going to take care of you when you're older?
Secondly, economic reality check. Now let's talk money. Raising a child in America isn't cheap. According to the USDA, the average cost to raise a child to age 18 is over $310,000, and that doesn't even include college tuition. In a world where wages aren't keeping up with inflation, the math just isn't mathing for a lot of people. And with skyrocketing house prices, student loan debt, and rising healthcare costs, many folks are choosing financial stability and freedom over parenthood. Take a look.
There are so many financial reasons why millennials are choosing not to have kids. I think the obvious ones we can point to is the cost of childcare, the fact that it's inaccessible and unaffordable, the rising price of housing, the interest rates, rent prices, it's all skyrocketing, and then groceries. Those three things alone are enough to put people off of having children because the price is difficult even when you don't have children. But when you do add children to the mix, even without childcare, if you are one of the lucky ones who has childcare in the form of family or some other kind of help and you're not paying for it, everything else is still very expensive. Simple things like my daughter doing gymnastics is over $100 a month. Swim lessons is $200 for 4 hours of swim lessons. Going to the zoo costs our family $150 to go to the zoo. And that's before you pay for parking or anything in the zoo, which obviously we try not to do, right? These prices continue to go up and up and up. Even simple things like pizza on a Friday night for your kids. 2 large pizzas, which is what we need for our kids, $45. And that's at the local sub shop. That does not mean going anywhere special. The cost of having children is feeling less and less accessible to millennials because not only is housing and childcare and groceries incredibly expensive, all the things that we would want to be able to provide for our kids continues to go up as well. The cost is just something that most of us cannot stomach or access. I have 4 children. I understand how expensive that is. And I am lucky that I'm able to afford that. But I can also understand why people are opting out because it is difficult. It is difficult to stomach the cost of all the things as they add up. Even something as simple as camp. I think we all thought about day camp as this thing that was accessible and affordable. For my 2 kids to attend day camp this summer, $6,000. And that's the cheapest one I can find. That is the rec department camp. The cost to have children is becoming less and less accessible, which is why more and more people are opting out of it.
Thirdly, lifestyle and personal freedom. Another big reason people value time and freedom. Being child-free means more flexibility, whether it's traveling the world, pursuing passions, or simply enjoying life without the added responsibility of parenting. Many feel that choosing not to have kids allows them to live life on their own terms, and they are embracing it. Let's take a look at this video and read out a few comments.
I don't want to be attached to nobody, to their drama, to their trauma, and to their bullshit. I do not want them problems. I don't want to pile so much onto this life. I really want to live a very minimalistic life. I want less responsibilities, less stuff, less bills. I want less. And I want to just simply be. I don't want to constantly do. I don't want to have to take them to school when I think the school system is similar to a prison system. I'm not a fan of that institution. I'm not a fan of capitalism. I'm not a fan of how they are programming us to be sheep. I'm not a fan how they're programming us to be followers and not to stand up for ourselves. I'm not a fan. So if you're not a
I'm child-free, and the freedom it gives me not only in my finances but my entire life is something I wouldn't trade for the world. If I'm in a toxic job, I can just quit. No worrying about my child's healthcare or another mouth to feed. If I don't like where I'm living, I can just move. No worrying about my kid transferring schools or living in an area with the best school district. Daycare costs, food, diapers, clothes, 529 plan. All of that gets directed to my retirement so I can stop working earlier and have freedom and choice. The birth rate panic, it's because rich people need crops of new humans to exploit so they can keep raking in billions while people are suffering. And I'm not going to give them that. Being child-free to me is freedom, and it's also an act of resistance. If they wanted me to have a child, they should have built a world I'd be proud to bring a child into.
Fourthly, climate anxiety and the future. Here's the new twist: climate change. A growing number of young Americans are worried about bringing children into a world facing environmental crisis, concerns about the planet's future, overpopulation, and resource scarcity have led some people to decide that having kids just isn't ethical. Let's watch this video.
Hi, do you want to have kids? For me, it's a hard no. It's not that I hate kids, it's just that I don't want to raise children in a world where billionaires exist and are allowed to ruin the planet for the sake of profits while the rest of the world suffers. I'm not alone in this. More and more people are deciding that they don't want to have kids, and they're citing the climate breakdown as a reason. And it really makes sense, right? Because why would I want to bring a child into this world? So they can suffer from extreme heat and super typhoons and choke from air pollution? No thanks. Not to mention this economy. I mean, can I even afford to feed a child? Anyway, what are your thoughts?
And lastly, social pressure and pushback. Of course, choosing to be child-free isn't always easy. Many people face judgment from family, friends, and even strangers who see parenthood as the norm. But thanks to social media, child-free advocates are building supportive communities where they can share their experience and push back against outdated expectations. The decision to remain child-free is influenced by a complex interplay of personal values, economic factors, and societal considerations. So, why are more Americans choosing to be child free? The answer is complex, ranging from financial concerns to personal freedom and even anxiety about the future. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.